folks, welcome back to Recently Seen Reading. I'm Heather. And kind of a gap in my very short YouTube career. I had kind of a equipment failure last week, which required some replacing and some migrating of files, and a lot of tweaking. Huge distraction. Despite all that, I had a couple of weeks of pretty good reading. I read about a dozen books, which is what I expected to read, but zero YouTube recording. In terms of what I read, the best of the bunch were probably two novels, both dealing with the consequences of sexual misgressions in one form or another. So one would be Safka's Zenoia's Putney, which was great. Unusual combination of perspectives on sexual exploitations. And the other, which is a good contrast and reading companion for it, would be Coetzee's Disgrace, which happens in an entirely different time frame, has a very different narrative perspective. In Putney, you do get to see directly the perspectives of the women involved. In Disgrace, not so much. The Coetzee novel is better than Putney, but they're both quite worth reading. Other than that, I read a couple of thrillers or mysteries, one by Laura Lipman called Sunburn, which was quite good. It's a redoing of 1940s noir, and what I really very much appreciated about it was the very deft way in which Lipman handles shifts in characters' perspectives, the way she can move between characters' perspective and gradually unpeel layers of the onion where each character does or doesn't understand what's going around. The other one I read that was a mystery or a thriller was Attica Locke's Bluebird. Bluebird, this was fine as a mystery. I think it suffered a little bit from me reading at a time when I was thinking about Toni Morrison, and Toni Morrison's absolute fierce determination not to write for the white gaze. And I think part of what I didn't enjoy so much about Bluebird was the number of times in which Locke has to, or decides to, explain things like colorism, which is one of the things that drives the plot besides racism. But a perfectly competent mystery novel. Let's see what else I went through. A couple of graphic novels, nothing outstanding. Moss's Forward, which is a story of two women trying to find relationships after one's been widowed, her partner died of cancer, and the other one is someone whose partner has left her. So it's a lesbian love story, and it's competent, but not outstanding. I think it's suffering in my mind in comparison to Alison Bechdel. And almost anything suffers in my mind in comparison to Alison Bechdel. Two other books I read this week that I think would repay reading together are Evelyn Mayer's I Will Not Serve and Ocean Vuong's On Earth We're Briefly Beautiful. So Mayer's novel was written in 48-49. She committed suicide shortly before its publication, and Ocean Vuong's a novel that was published this year and is all over the book press and all over YouTube. Both tell stories of young love, young sexual fascination or obsession, especially in Mayer's case, and both use very lyrical and, in my judgment, florid prose to do this, to reflect the intensity of the emotional experiences. They're the very young protagonists. They're the kinds of stories that often get told in this kind of overheated prose. So interesting as a narrative kind of pattern, and we pay reading together as contrast, because they cover very different kinds of subject matter, but very similar approaches narratively. And the one I'd add to a pile if you're interested in reading very descriptive writing about emotions would be Elizabeth Smart's By Grand Central Station. All three have a similar kind of narrative tag. So okay, but not great reads for me. I think I'm not in the right audience group for stories about intense emotional experiences of the young. So as sometimes happens when you have dozens and dozens of books on hold at the library. A bunch of them come in at once, and so last week I had 8 come in all at once. I've got 3 weeks to read them all. I've read a couple already, the Fong in particular. And this week coming up, I'm hoping to get through Drive Your Plow Over the Bones, which has been all over BookTube. Cassandra at the Wedding by Dorothy Baker, which I haven't heard anyone talk about here on YouTube. And Watermark, a new collection of short stories from Christiane Conlon, a Nova Scotian writer. I thought her first novel was quite fine. I didn't get on with her second novel, but I'm interested to see what she does with this, her collection of short stories. And the other thing I'm hoping to make headway on next week is Du Bois's The Soul of Black Folks. I think that's it for me. A good couple of weeks of reading. Crap at remembering the titles this week. And I hope you had a good reading week. Bye-bye.